I was always very confused about the terms supernova and worst generation because I thought that they were two different terms to describe the same thing. But I was wrong. The supernovas are 11 super rookies that have bounties of over 100 million berries, whereas the worst generation are the supernovas plus Blackbeard. And even though it's kind of crazy to think that the supernovas were last minute integration into the story, Oda still managed to deliver them extremely well. From their character designs to their powers to just how diverse they are, they kind of became a crucial part of the story, not only because of the things they have done and will do later down the line, but also because they served as a measurement to hype up Luffy, especially with the introduction of the three captains. For the most part, after the time skip, we saw them more often as they appeared in different arcs, and just like how Luffy and the Straw Hats became stronger, so did the members of the worst generation. And that's why today, I'm going to give my hot takes and my ranking of the strongest pirates of the worst generation. Number 12, I got Capone Bege. So we saw Bege again during the Whole Cake Island incident, and turns out he became one of Big Mom's subordinate after marrying one of her daughters. And we kind of learned that Bege is not a 1v1 type of fighter, but instead he's very tactical. He pretty much just fights like a mafia boss, chilling on the side, smoking a cigar, and giving commands. But during that arc, there were some quite notable feats that he did after turning against Big Mom. And one of those is that it seems that his observation haki is pretty insane, considering the fact that he legit shot Oven dead between his eyes from hundreds of meters away. But at the end of the day, that's pretty much all he has to offer. Number 11, I got Jewelry Bonney. As you all know, we are currently on Egghead Island, and Bonney is the supernova that's going to get the Straw Hat treatment. And throughout the entire series, there were bits and pieces where her role in the story were still unknown, which made her just that much more interesting. And you know what is more interesting about her? Her powers. Yeah, basically what he can do is that she can age anyone, whether it is into a small child or into a crippling old man. So this ability is pretty freaking broken, but only if she touches you. If you're faster than her and have haki strong enough to nullify her ability, you basically won the fight by default. Number 10, I got Basil Hawkins. So Hawkins is probably one of the most annoying fighters to go up in this list, and that's mainly because of his voodoo dolls. Pretty much how it works is that they take all the damage for him. So to really defeat Hawkins, you need to go through all of his voodoo dolls. And outside of that, he has a lot more abilities, but I'm not going to talk about it here. But what we learn is that he does have observation and armament haki, but it seems that he mostly relies on his devil fruit powers, which is something that we saw in his fight against Killer, that even though throughout of his devil fruit powers abilities, he still got low diffed. Number 9, I got Scratchmen Apoo. So Apoo ate the Oto no Mi, and with that he was able to have some pretty insane feats during Wano. He literally was able to slash Zoro and knock Luffy out for like a couple seconds. So basically how his power works is that as long as you can hear the music that he's playing, he can target anyone and shoot attacks like slashes, hits, and explosive that will 100% hit you. But if you learn how it works, it is pretty easy to counter. So all you have to do is pretty much just block your earrings and stay out of his sight, which is, to be honest, quite annoying to deal with because you can't really fight normally with that. But any character who has future sight haki or simply are faster than him would easily defeat Apoo, as we saw with Kizaru. Number 8, I got X-Drake. So the reason why I put X-Drake higher than Hawkins and Apoo is because he was included into the Toby Ropo, and I don't really know if the requirements to be one was to be a Zone Devil Fruit user, but whatever, I still think he's stronger than both of them. So back in Sabaody, we learned that X-Drake has an ancient Zone Devil Fruit of an Allosaurus, and honestly it pretty much does what an ancient Zone Devil Fruit does. It gave Drake increased physical strength and durability, which is something that we saw in his fight against the CP0 agent Guernica. And although he did end up losing to him, he did badly damage a CP0 agent after all. so we kinda gotta give credit where credit is due. Number 7, I got Urouge. So Urouge is the last supernova that has yet to meet the Straw Hat, so there's very little to say about him. But we do know that he comes from the Sky Islands and he has the power to turn all kinds of damage that he receives into physical strength, which allowed him to defeat one of Big Mom's Sweet Commander, Snack. And this is absolutely crazy because even after beating Snack, he still had enough stamina to continue to fight Cracker. Albeit he lost, but still this is pretty impressive. The fact that also he is called the Mad Monk but has always been seen smiling might imply that if he ever does get mad, he'll be a total different beast. Number 6, I got Killer. So there's no real surprises here. Killer is one of the 2 non-captain supernovas, and the fact that he is in the top half of this list speaks volume to his strength, because he was literally able to damage Kaido and was able to no-diff Hawkins. This is pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. And now boys, we are in the top 5. And that's where it's going to get a little spicy. And again, this is just my opinion, so if you do get mad at me, please at least be kind about it. Don't be this guy. So now let's discuss who amongst these 3 are stronger. Zoro, Law, or Kid? Comment down below your picks. So the easiest way to this conversation will be to just say that both Kid and Law are stronger than Zoro because they are pirate captains that have bounties of 3 billion berries. But honestly, it's far more complicated than that. Because although they have awakened their Devil Fruit powers and together have defeated Big Mom, Haki was still revealed in the same arc to be the ultimate power above all else, especially Advanced Conqueror's Haki, which is something that Zoro finally managed to unlock in his fight against King. And upon unlocking it, the fight went from Zoro completely struggling to keep up with King to him absolutely destroying King. But unfortunately, this does not confirm that Zoro is stronger than either of them, even if you add into the equation that Zoro was the only one amongst the 3 of them to actually scar and damage Kaido with Ashura. And honestly, it's very sad to say about it, but this is simply because of narrative. Yes, totally agree that end of series Zoro will definitely be the strongest amongst the 3 of them, but currently both Kid and Law are stronger even if it's just by a small margin. We just simply cannot ignore that Kid is currently on Elbaf and might play a far bigger role down the line. And also, we can't ignore that Law is currently fighting another Yonko after just defeating one. And Zoro on the other hand hasn't really fought any opponent of that level 1v1 just yet. That's why I put number 5, Zoro, number 4, Law, and number 3, Kid. And the reason why I put Kid above Law is because he has Conquerors. Because if he ever unlocks Advanced Conqueror's Haki, then the whole discussion, the whole debate over who's stronger between Kid and Law will be over. And now for the last 2, in second place I got Luffy, and in first place I got Blackbeard, because like it or not, Blackbeard is stronger than Luffy because of narrative as well. He's written up to be Luffy's final opponent and the biggest obstacle Luffy is going to face before becoming Pirate King, thus meaning that no matter how much you try to argue, Luffy is not as strong as Blackbeard. Because we also have to take into account that Blackbeard has or is going to have a 3rd and final Devil Fruit, specifically a Mythical Zoan. And together with his Darkness Fruit and his Gura Gura no Mi, current Luffy is just not there yet. And the only way for Luffy to surpass him is with Haki. As you all know, Kaido has already confirmed that Haki is the end-all be-all of power, which is something that was shown not only with Luffy unlocking Advanced Conqueror's Haki, but also with Shanks' Conqueror's Haki at the end of Wano. Because this proves that there's levels to Haki that Luffy will need to have in order to become the undeniable strongest ever. And that is also because of the fact that even if Luffy uses Gear 5th, it will be cancelled out by Blackbeard's anyways, which will be perfect because I don't really expect to see a goofy Looney Tunes type of fight between Luffy and Blackbeard. For the final battle between them, I can expect to see an angry Luffy fighting with the utmost seriousness and focus we'll ever see. Blackbeard is the one who killed Ace after all, which is something that we can only see if he uses pure Haki and not Gear 5th. So guys, give me your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with my list? And please comment down below your top 5 strongest characters of the worst generation. I think my list is pretty fair, but if you disagree with it, please tell me why you disagree with it. At the end of the day, I'm a human being and I can change mine. So as always guys, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please consider to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my content. And as always, drink some Coke.